Well, first and foremost, of course, Hawaii is very proud and really, really anxious to kind of see how you do on the show. And we love supporting our local people and our ohana. So take us to the beginning and let me know a little bit more about you and your upbringing over on the Valley Isle.
So I'm originally from Hana, Maui. I come from a long line of Hana people, I guess. um, but I also grew up on Oahu in Makakila. I went to school on Oahu. And at around 10 years old, I kind of fell in love with DJing. And my best friend's family, they had like a mobile DJing company. And so from 10 years old, they kind of took me under their wing and taught me how to, you know, DJ parties and stuff like that. And that was kind of my thing for a while, but I always sang, always played music. I mean, I'm sure, growing up in Hawaii, like there's always get-togethers. Everybody brings their ukulele or guitar and just jams and stuff. And so that was kind of regular for me and my family. And so I was really exposed to live music really early on. My grandfather, who passed away when I was around 5, used to play music with like Uncle Willie K's dad and Eddie Kamai and Gabby Panui and stuff. And he was like a really big inspiration to me because his like genre of choice, he did play Hawaiian music, but he loved blues and R&B, and that's kind of my passion. And so it was really cool being, growing up around music like that, and then also getting to learn how to DJ. It really expanded my musical knowledge and allowed me to be influenced by a lot of artists that I otherwise probably never would have heard of had I not been into that scene as well.
Interesting, coming from like a slack key traditional background. And then of course, Uncle Willie K, I think blues was like his secret passion.
Oh, big time. Big time. So yeah, Uncle Willie's dad and my grandpa used to play back in the day. And then my grandpa also used to play music. We also used to play music with like Danny Estacado and Hana and stuff. But
Wonderful. Well, talking more about Hana, it being the most isolated place on the planet. And you did mention that you went to school on Oahu. How are you adjusting to the limelight so far?
it's been pretty overwhelming, really. I obviously expected when it gets played on TV, people are gonna follow me and stuff. But the amount of support and love that I've received just from Hawaii, like, has been incredible. I don't know I wouldn't know how to describe it. Like, it's been overwhelming, very humbling, and it makes me very proud because more than my singing abilities or what have you, like, I really wanted to showcase Hawaii and like Hawaiians, like people, Kanaka, and then like what we're about, what we can bring to the table. And I feel like I tried my best to do that, and I hope it came through. And like with all the love and support that I've received, I feel like it kind of has, and hopefully that's the case. But
For sure. You definitely did seem very authentic and yourself. So that's all that matters, right?
Yeah, definitely.
And so was this your first time auditioning, or has it been a long journey?
Well, with The Voice, I actually auditioned back in 2018, but I didn't make it to the blinds. And then they have like all kinds of different ways of casting, but they contacted me through my Instagram and invited me to like an open call audition. I guess my voice is more like an R&B singer. I'm like an R&B singer, but I love doing reggae music, R&B music. I do some EDM stuff, country. I just love doing music. And so even like some of my favorite artists are people that nobody's heard of, really. Like, one of my favorite bands is a band called Cultura Profetica out of Puerto Rico. They sing in Spanish. I don't speak Spanish at all, but that's probably what I would listen to 80% of the time. But in terms of people that influence me, that people might know, Music Soul Child's one of my biggest musical influences and vocal influences. But early on in my life, my uncle Pancho Ho'opai and his brothers Kavika, Kale, and George Ho'opai were probably my biggest influences when I was a kid. They used to have a band called Island Heat back in like the 90s on Maui. And they inspired a lot of up and coming acts as well. And then my uncle Pancho moved on, and he was one of the lead singers for the band Sly Dog. And I would say that he's probably one of my biggest influences in life, and yeah, one of my really big inspirations. And yeah. So,
Love that you have a musical family, which is kind of the case, right, for Hawaiians.
big time, yeah, big time. And I'm from the Ho'opai family, so like
Mm.
my grandma is a Ho'opai, and so my cousin Shandy, Uncle Pancho Ho'opai, Joey Ho'opai, like there's so many amazing, talented musicians in our family. It's pretty incredible.
So what inspired you to sing that song for your blinds?
I mean, it's Bob Marley. So we grow up. I feel like he's a foundational piece of our music and our culture as well. Um, but I really love the message, and I just feel like in the time that we're in with the pandemic and everything, like I just want to bring positivity and joy. And I feel like with that song, people can kind of relate, and hopefully it'll take them out of whatever bad or negative they're feeling in life, and kind of help them forget about that, for even if it's just for a minute and a half. So that was kind of I guess my goal with that song.
What was going through your mind when you realized that you made it on the show?
Oh my goodness. To be honest, like when I was performing, I feel like I feel like I blacked out, but I was well aware that they weren't turning. And I even thought to myself, oh man, you're going home. Because right before they turn, I do like this big belty note. And in my mind, leading up rehearsals and everything, I'm like, okay, if there's a part where they turn, it's this part. And they didn't turn. And so I'm like, oh my goodness, yeah, I'm going home. And so I do my falsetto part, and there's a little part where like I pause, and it's because I was shocked that they turned around at that moment, and I kind of had to regather myself. I normally would have done it with one whole breath, but I had to stop and take a breath and restart it. But it was pretty crazy. I feel like I was more nervous talking to them than singing, if that makes any sense.
That's cool. Yeah, it's interesting because when you're performing, a lot of people don't realize, but there's a lot of things going on in your head, right? Like you're thinking, you're
Yeah,
having thoughts, you're having flashes, you're browning out, you're blacking out. So, oh, that's incredible. Talking
yeah,
more
it was
about
crazy.
talking more about being native Hawaiian, now that you have this national stage and kind of like a national platform, what is it that you hope people will learn?
I really hope that they will learn that, first of all, that we exist, because even after my planned audition, I have people sending me message saying like, what is it like to be Samoan? I'm like, I'm actually Hawaiian, like a native Hawaiian, and I feel like it's a lot of people that aren't from Hawaii or haven't come to Hawaii and don't know much about Polynesian culture have a tendency to group us all together, or they're just unfamiliar with the different, Hawaiian, Tongan, Samoan, Tahitian, and all the different races. So one of my main goals is to kind of just help people understand that there are a group of people known as Hawaiians or Kanakamoli, and we exist, and we're also capable of great things, and we're very loving and caring people, and that's hopefully what I'm able to convey with my interviews and my performances on the show.
Excellent. I know you can't like give anything away, but what can we expect from you this season? Or
uh, I mean, I can't really say too much. You guys just got to keep watching, but I know that the blind auditions finish on November 2nd, and the battle rounds come up after that, and it's gonna be it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a
awesome.
good one. So you guys got to just keep watching and hope for the best.
And how can we support you?
You guys can follow me at Joseph Soul on Instagram, Joseph Soul Music on Twitter. I'm working on a project that'll come out when the show finishes, and when it does, hopefully, if you guys want to buy it or stream it on Spotify and Apple Music and stuff, I'd really appreciate that. But other than that, just be good people.